Can the media do a better job here? And what are we missing?
I'm so happy you asked me that question, Rick, because I have a lot of media friends who look like me. And I really did feel bad about that portrayal because here's the truth. What in my experience, there are a lot of really good journalists, really good journalists. Thing is, major media outlets are still controlled, right? And so, with that, I don't necessarily look at the major media outlets. I find my news in smaller outlets, right, that can have a little bit more control. And in those outlets, you do see really truthful, penetrating stories, really trying to shed different lights and perspectives on solutions. And so,
Hmm.
yes, the media is and can do a good job, a better job of really sharing that narrative. But I think, and I kind of want to just kind of take an opportunity to piggyback, kind of go back a second on the police and kind of the relationship, and where the accountability stands. Here in Tallahassee, we it may be shocking because I know we have first 48 in every other city, but from a violent standpoint, we're nearly at the top of our state per capita. From a poverty level, we're at the top of our state in the zip code where I'm currently sitting in, and my office and center is currently in. And
Hmm.
so the sheriff's office is a driver or 3 wood away from me. And we have a black sheriff by the name of Walt McNeil, and he's really progressive. I met with him, and what really motivated me, Rick, was that he looked at me in my face as a black man and said, I am desperate. My job is to respond. My job is to find the criminal, find the culprit, and put them in prison.
Hmm.
And that's my job. My job is not to be a mental health therapist. My job is not to be, a the community solutionist. That's the community's job. And he told me, he said, I have not seen the solutions come from the Black community. I've seen ideas come from the Black community. I've
Okay.
not seen key performance indicators. I've not seen deliver. I have not seen the structure of what it takes to really draw down the funds and the resources to really make a change. And that woke us up and woke me up. And when we look at, they can't do it all. I look at one thing, we as a Black community and a culture, we have to begin to create leverage, right? We talked earlier about the pictures, that once something happens, the white kid doesn't get put up and the Black kid does. Truth be told, that's a money and power situation, right? It's
Hmm.
somebody had more money and somebody had better power with relationships. And those things didn't hit the media outlet, right? We could do
Right.
the same thing if we were to galvanize and really create leverage. I think that's what we need to be able to do. Instead of spending time trying to break systems, we either need to play this system to win, right?
Hmm.
Or we need to just build our own systems and defend our own systems, right? Because we're in a different time frame. We can no longer sit and try to break a system because it's not going to be broken, right? It is literally the fibers of this country. So we need to create a system of leverage in which we can really protect our own. We can really create assets for ourselves and economic value. We have to do these things on a larger scale in order to create the leverage that we need to really fight this fight. We need to create lobbyists. We need to put in politicians. Right? We can stack the odds the same way the game has been played and won. We can win the game the same way. So it's not just on the police. It's not just on the media. It really
Hmm.
becomes these types of conversations. What are those of us on this panel? We're all in the same state. Do we connect after? Right? Then how do we mobilize? How do we be able to pull in, create leverage for us to kind of advance more and pull down more resources for those of us who are really in the trenches doing that fight?